right, so today is April 12th. This is Mrs. Tovar here. We're going to be practicing ratio and proportions. And I'm going to do number 5 with you today. It says an 8-ounce can of tomatoes costs $1.14. A 12-ounce can costs $1.75. Which can of tomatoes costs the least per ounce? The least per ounce. This word per means that we're finding unit rate here. And the word per also means 1, as well as unit rate. So, I know in my comparison today, when I compare, because that's what ratio and proportions do, I'm going to be comparing to the number 1. So, to find the cost of an 8-ounce can of tomato sauce, I'm going to set up a ones chart. And remember, the W stands for words, which means it's really important to label. So make sure you label. First of all, when I label, I gotta ask myself, what am I comparing? I am comparing the ounces to the money. So the first thing I'm gonna do is write my labels. Ounces to money. Okay? I see I have 8 with my label ounces, so that's pretty easy. Once I label, I know that 8 needs to go with my ounces. And then the $1.14 goes with my cost. So this is my cost right here. It goes with the money. All right, but I'm comparing it to per ounce, which means 1. So I need to make sure that the 1 goes with the ounces. Now, I'm trying to find the cost per ounce. So the cost of this 1 ounce would be my X, my missing piece, the value I'm trying to find. All right, now I'm going to start solving. I'm going to start by cross multiplying. So we have 8 times X. So 8 times X is 8X. I know that this side has to be equal to this side, so I'm going to put an equal sign here. And then I'm going to multiply 1 times $1.14, or 1 and 14 hundredths, which again is 1 and 14 hundredths. All right, well, I'm just going to say it instead of write it, but you're going to do it in your head, the do and undo. So we have 8 times X. If we're multiplying 8 by X, we're going to undo it by the inverse. And the inverse of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide both sides by 8. Because what we do to one side, we have to do to the other. Well, 8 divided by 8 is 1x, so we're left with x by itself. Now we have to divide 1 and 14 hundredths by 8. Now remember, the numerator, denominator. The numerator always goes inside the house, which is the dividend spot. And the denominator always goes in the divisor spot, which is outside the house. So let's make sure we set that up correctly. Numerator goes inside the house, which is in the dividend spot. And then the divisor is the denominator. It goes outside. All right, no decimals in my divisor spot, which is right here. So we're good to just bring this one up. Right? All right, so erase that there so we don't confuse you. All right, 8 does not go into 1, so I'm going to put a 0 above that to make sure I line up my numbers. 8 does go into 11 one time, and 8 times 1 is 8. Then I subtract. 11 minus 8 is 3. Bring down the 4. 8 goes into 34 4 times, and 8 times 4 is 32. I get a remainder of 2. So, not necessarily a remainder. Remember, we don't use remainders. But I have 2 left over. So I need to add a 0, drop it. Okay, well, 8 goes into 20 2 times. And now since I could keep on going, we're going to stop here and we're going to round to the nearest cent. I see that this 2, which is in the thousandth spot, is going to leave 14 alone. So I'm going to not round up because over 5 or more, add 1 more, 4 or less, let it rest. So we're going to let this rest. We're going to say the value of this per ounce over here, the value of X is going to be 14 cents. Okay? So now that we did the work for the first one, we got to compare it to the next one. So again, we need to set up a ones table. Words, original, new. Words mean label. Again, I'm comparing ounces to money. Well, now I see I have a 12-ounce can. So I'm going to put 12. And this 12-ounce can costs $1.75. Well, remember, I'm trying to find per 1 ounce. So again, I'm going to put 1 next to the ounces. I'm trying to find the cost of this 1 ounce. So that's my mystery number. That's my X. That's the missing piece I'm trying to find. Okay, let's go ahead now and let's set up our equation. So we have 12 times X, which is 12X. And then we're going to multiply 1 times $1.75. Well, that's $1.75. Remember, we would do our do and undo. I can see that I'm multiplying. What am I doing to the variable? I'm multiplying it by 12. The inverse of multiplication is division. So I'm going to divide by 12. I get 1x. And then I'm going to divide by 12. Well, this is no easy task. We're going to actually have to divide it out. Remember, numerator inside the house, denominator out. Line up your decimal. 12 does not go into 1, so put a 0. 12 does go into 17 1 time. Bring down your 5. 12 does go into 55 4 times. And 12 times 4 is 48. Then I make sure I subtract. And I get 7 left over, so I add a 0, bring it down. And here I see 12 goes into 7 5 times. 75 times, sorry. And I'm going to stop there, even though I know I have some left over, because I have this 5 now to round to the nearest cent. So this 5, remember 5 or more, add 1 more. So this 5 is really going to make this 14 cents 15 cents. So over here, I know the value of this X is 15 cents. So now we got to actually answer the question. After all that beautiful work, and the question asks, which can of tomatoes cost the least per ounce? And the answer would simply be this one right here, which would be the 8-ounce can for $1.14. Make sure you have proof as to why you're choosing your answer. All right, have fun with the rest of your homework.